Hello to you. Sierra Nevada Celebration showed up around here. This is canned September 30th, so it's 25 days in the can. Wish you could get it fresher, but this is the kind of early winter slash fall seasonal from Sierra Nevada that I've done for a long time with freshly dried hops from this year's harvest. So it's not wet hop, it's not undried hops taken from the vine or the vine directly to the brewery in a day. These ones were picked and then they dried them, and then the Sierra Nevada people go there and sniff the freshly dried hops for the best lots. And they use the same hop varieties always. It's Cascade, Centennial, Chinook, I believe. And this is very, very similar specs to their wet hop beer, the Northern Hemisphere that I just reviewed. It was pretty good, but that one uses only Centennial hops, whereas this one uses 3 different hops. And it's got lots of caramel malt, you can see. That's what gives it that color. And this beer is very cold. That's why the head kind of looked weird there. Almost looked like nitro, didn't it, for a second? Is that any darker? It looks like it's the exact same color as their Northern Hemisphere wet hop IPA. And this is 6.7. That one was 6.7. This one's 6.8. So there you go. Head looks pretty nice. There's a little bit of color to the head. It's not just white head. So that kind of tells you that they use a good amount of the caramel malt. It's just 2-row pale and caramel malt. It's not like they just use a lot of really dark caramel malt. Or no, they use just a teeny bit of dark caramel malt. Then you'll get some color, but not as much color to the head, not as much flavor. And yeah, really nice dense head. In part because I got this beer super cold. It definitely smells different than the Northern Hemisphere. This smells like more sweet. It's very sweet red berries. But it does have like a pretty like fresh hop aroma. Like there's some chlorophyll-y stuff going on. But generally people will use dried hops for, they're good dried hops in a cryovac bag for like a year, but yeah, definitely after that they go downhill. It doesn't smell too piney, and there is some toasty sweet malt in there for sure. I like to complain and be like, well, could they just make this less dark, less caramel malt, so I can just really get the straight hops, because I like paler IPAs in general. Lots of flavor and lots of toastiness that comes in too right away. Definitely gets more pine in the taste. A little bit of grapefruit, but it's kind of like a cooked grapefruit with caramel. Very nice mouthfeel. And it lingers. Whew. It packs a good dank resinous punch for sure. And the head's still sticking around pretty nicely. Got some good lacing. Ooh, that's bitter. Ooh, ah. Yeah, that's seems like it's more potent than their wet hop IPA. More bitter, even though they have kind of the same specs, but this one just seems like has more of those alpha acids and more of the intense dank, flavor crystals in there, because when you use wet hops, it has lots and lots of wet plant matter so that means you're dealing with all that vegetal stuff. Whereas this one, even though they do use whole leaf hops, they use whole dried hops, but it's pulled, there's all this water and all this chlorophyll and stuff that's not in there, so it's just concentrated basically. And that's basically how almost every beer is made, with dried hops that are like that. That's why you don't have to use a lot. With this one, they definitely use a lot. They don't tell you how many pounds. It's definitely heavily dry hopped too. Yeah, the finish is a little too, it gets pretty bitter and pretty toasty caramely. It's a bit much to me. It reminds me of like Stone IPA. Yeah, I think I like their wet hop one, the Northern Hemisphere wet hop one, better. Even though this is, I don't know if I'd call it a cult favorite. It's widely distributed and drank by lots and lots of people every year, but it's just not my favorite. It's very old-fashioned, and I know they want to carry on that legacy and not really change the beer much, even though they definitely always are tweaking it to make it better, but it's not. It's just really appealing to bitter, malty, hophead IPAs, you know, that peaked 15 years ago, and the entire industry and all beer drinkers have kind of moved away from that. But this seems to sell. Maybe it doesn't sell well. I assume it must sell well. I don't know. But yeah, I think Sierra Nevada has some better IPAs out there. At least just for my taste. It's really well made. It's probably exactly how they want it. But I got this one, and I only saw it in 12 packs. So I got a 12 pack, but I'm not going to buy any more for the season for sure. Yeah, it's quite bitter. Like, they said something like 65 IBUs, and like, seems more than that to me. Maybe like just because they're using the freshly dried hops, the alpha acids have not started to degrade at all, had no chance to, so it could be even higher on that technically. I don't know if they use the equipment to measure it in the finished beer, if they just calculate it with the ingredients. That seems real bitter. But masterfully made. I guess I'll give it 4.14, but it's really hard to rate something like this. This just is not really to my taste, but really well done. Bye.